Welcome everybody, match day 6 in the Asian Champions League Elite and in the Western Division, a night of huge importance here in Doha for our hosts Al Gharafa as they meet the team becoming the sensation of this season. Al Wahda of the United Arab Emirates. They're already qualified for the next stage, well ahead of expectations, well ahead of schedule. Al Gharafa have got to get it right tonight. The club's pride demands it, but in the bigger picture, the prestige of Qatari football generally also requires it. That is something taken very seriously indeed in these parts. It is to be Portugal against Portugal in the coaching ranks tonight, but not quite as many foresaw just a couple of weeks ago. I will fill in the detail in a moment. Not many foresaw that all the pressure would be off Al Wahda starting this game here this evening, but that is the situation. Al Gharafa may be top of the Qatar Stars League, but like all the top clubs hereabouts, they crave success on this stage, the Asian Champions League, and they found it hard to come by over the years. This year, the end may be nigh if they were to lose for what would be the 5th time in 6 games. And don't be fooled by the laughs across the corridor. The smiling face we saw first of Pedro Martins there. I cannot believe for a second that the Al Gharafa coach is sitting comfortably. Just a single win for them so far. Al Wahda, by contrast, cannot stop winning. They made a brilliant start on match day 1 by beating Al Ittihad of Saudi Arabia, and they haven't looked back. A very determined draw in the Islamic Republic of Iran against Tractor showed another side to their makeup. They've beaten 2 other Qatari clubs to this point this season, and one in Uzbekistan for good measure. It's really very hard to find fault with all that, and I say again, they are already qualified for the next phase. A pretty startling level of performance from their point of view. One element perhaps was foreseen, that Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia would be another of the top sides. Earlier today they have won away to Sharjah to move to 18 points. A win for Tractor earlier today has moved them into second for now. 1 place and just a single point ahead of Al Wahda, who started match day 6 in 2nd spot. But again, to repeat, Al Wahda qualified already and looking to 2026 with great optimism, and they deserve that opportunity. So is this to be the night when Al Gharafa finally get it all right at last? A couple of really painful defeats in the first 3 games. Away to Al Sharjah, beaten 4-3 there. A 4-0 drubbing in Saudi Arabia by Al Ahly. It seemed to have left a mark on them. Much tighter affair here against Al Hilal, but the defeat by Al Ahly of Dubai has left them clambering to try to make the top 8. They start in 9th spot, still with 3 games to play, but only 2 teams have won more than 3 games going into this round. So it's open to question how many more times Al Gharafa's players will have the opportunity to hear that Asian Champions League anthem if this does not go their way tonight. Defeat for Al Gharafa on match day 5 to Al Ahly of Dubai. It was their 4th in 5 games. 3 changes by Pedro Martins, Ayub Aloui and Dame Traore at the back, and Yassine Brahimi, fresh from duty in the FIFA Arab Cup, is back to captain his club side. Ghazelu, who's claimed 3 of the 6 scored by Al Gharafa to this stage, is only on the bench. That total, one of the reasons perhaps why they start outside the qualifying spots here. Al-Hatmi is the referee from Oman, and 2 very high quality footballers acting as captains. Brahimi for Al Gharafa and the supremely talented Dusan Tadic of Al Wahda, still going strong, Tadic. Al Wahda's headline personnel news is that it is Dimash, the former assistant to José Moraes, who is in charge of this team now, following the dismissal of Moraes on December the 15th, and despite all their success in this competition, Abdullah Ahmed, Al-Manhali, Sasa Ivkovic and Guga all start as Al Wahda seek to keep on chasing Al Hilal, the team on top of the section. Tadic weighed in with 2 in the brilliant win over Al Sadd on match day 5, and up there with him, not to be overlooked either, by the home team, Carl Canedo, who's got 3 in the first phase of what could become a season to remember for him. Not quite the midnight hour in terms of their season, at least in terms of the Asian Champions League for Al Gharafa, but not far off it. Deep into the night here in Doha.
The moment we've been waiting for.
The moment we've been waiting for, indeed. So Al Gharafa on top in the Stars League here, but a long way from the top group in the Asian Champions League Elite. The disparity between the 2 sides' level of performance in this competition this season really more mystifying when one is up the actual level of ability on both sides. The man who's got to get it right is Pedro Martins, and Dimash drafted in not very many days ago, about 10 days ago, to take over following the departure of José Moraes. We await further detail on all of that, but as Dimash told our TV colleagues before this game got underway, we've got a job of work to get on with, and he's been in the game all his life. Clearly he and Martins do know each other well, just judged on the greeting pre-game. And here's Brahim Diarra on that right-hand side. Guga has started as right full-back. Wasn't a very clever challenge first up, to be truthful. Slowed down, it looks particularly bad, particularly incriminating on Fabrizio Diaz, and I can see his point of view, quite honestly. But they can't be feeling sorry for themselves here, Al Gharafa. Brahimi, who played 120 minutes for Algeria just the other night, incidentally, at the age of 35. Nothing wrong with his sharpness there as he gathered it in elegantly. Oh, and he's confident as well, trying to set the tone really for his team here. Brahimi, without him, Algeria all focused, of course, now on the start of the Africa Cup of Nations. They play on the 24th of December against Sudan. Mohamed Al-Shamshi is the visiting goalkeeper here. Mohamed tried to cut inside onto his left foot, coming in from the right side. Lucas Pimenta. Pimenta might just exercise a little bit of caution tonight, given the state of the group already. He has picked up a couple of yellow cards to this point in this competition this season, but he's made his contribution at both ends. Scored a 99th minute winner. Couldn't have been more dramatic on match day one. Ivkovic, who knows the game inside out, of course, slightly unfamiliar role, but given his midfield know-how from years gone by, could be an astute signing over the course of this season. Just helped it into touch there. Ivkovic and Pimenta, the centre-backs tonight. Guga scurries out as Brahimi keeps station on the left side and now crosses. Now Canedo is stationed up front for Al Wahda. Khalifa Abubakar, the home goalkeeper. They'd like to keep him at arm's length tonight, but he's been in great form this season, Canedo, as a goal scorer in this competition. Jadson. Canedo again. Krupski made a clever little darting run from in on the left flank there for the visitors. He wasn't seen, but he might try it again, and they do need to watch him, Al Gharafa, supporting the very, very talented front two. Ivkovic reverses it to Pimenta. Confident pass forward. Lovely touch as well round the corner from Diarra. He made a good start. And Al Wahda are moving the ball around very comfortably and confidently indeed. Diarra again. Gunnarsson tidied it up for the home team. Laid up as far as Florin El Koman. That really wasn't a ball that the Al Gharafa right back fancied trying to win, and I don't blame him. Eloui, he left it well alone. And already he's a bit concerned about these inside runs from Akundo Krupski, which allow Hamad here to make a little extra space down the left side, and also Amaral. They're looking a very well-oiled unit here, I must say, Al Wahda early on. Finding it more to their liking in this competition than in the UAE Pro League so far this season, where they trail Al Ain. Heading into match day 10, they are actually 5 points behind in their league. truth to tell, not all that much of a tradition in this competition to draw upon, which I think potentially makes it the more remarkable if they continue to excel in the Asian Champions League. Gharafa persisted and then eventually was penalised. Only once in their history have Al Wahda actually got as far as the final four in the AFC Champions League. That was back in 2007. 2021. They exited in the last 8 quarter-final round. Didn't qualify since then. Of course, a new format in this competition these days. Harder to win, harder to progress, harder to impress, but that's what they've done so far this season in abundance. Guga's throw, here's Diarra, very keen to make the most of his opportunity tonight. Sometimes hard to break into a winning team. Martins would love a winning team. Love to have those kind of problems. Again, a very confident attempt to turn by Krupski. Ruben Amaral with the throw. Ruben Canedo Amaral, to give him his full name, but the obvious reasoning behind using Ruben Amaral is because of Cao Canedo up the field, his teammate. Touch at last for Tadic. And that's what he can do so delicately and expertly. Dusan Tadic. There's a little bit of space here if they've got the pace. Gharafa to exploit it, not quite. Well played, Ivkovic. Again, he just kept it simple. Pimenta's header. And in the act of heading it, Judson was flattened there by Fabrizio Diaz. Dimash not too happy with the challenge. So he's been on both sides of it so far tonight, Fabrizio Diaz. He took a fairly heavy challenge himself, of course. First meeting between these two clubs since the 2006 edition of the Asian Champions League. It was a win apiece in that format at that time. Fairly long odds at this moment that these two might meet again in this competition, given that Al Wahda have already qualified for the next phase and Gharafa have it all to do. Traore full stretch, just got a little toe to it. All a little stilted from Al Gharafa when they try to move forward, and much more confident and precise generally from Al Wahda. Great ball in, and a very nice save indeed from Khalifa Abakar to deny Al Wahda the opening goal. They moved the ball with such confidence here. Canedo getting first run on the defender. Amaral picked him out with a lovely cross. And they were in all kinds of trouble here. Gharafa grateful to their goalkeeper. 3 already for Canedo this season, and clearly hungry for more tonight. Tadic's corner. Jadsom given a lot of time to cross it. Pimenta was in there hunting for it. I mentioned that he's got a goal already. Tadic to the back post, looking for him again. Gunnarsson on duty. Lovely cross, and Canedo's run there was really excellent. Dama Traore just lost him for half a second. It was enough. Well played, the goalkeeper. As acknowledged from the look of it there by Abdallah Hamad. Sporting touch. So a lot of early pressure from the visitors here. Stood by Sano first time, but not far. Jalor looked backward, but looked into trouble. Grushpke. Brahimi obviously very keen to take the responsibility to make things happen. I think it's going to take more than one good individual performance tonight to shape this game to their purpose. They're up against clearly a very confident side who are looking the part here early on, the visitors. Into the space for Canedo. Canedo, the player who got this great run, on its way in the first game. Real stiff test against Al Ittihad of Saudi Arabia. They won it 2-1. They came from behind, Al Wahda, to win it. Canedo got the first goal. Pimenta in the 99th minute with the second. Gunnarsson needs a bit of attention here. Now 36 years old. Gunnarsson still going strong, and he needed to be strong there. Clearly feeling the after effects from that little collision with Pimenta, because the game went on and he didn't immediately signal distress. The wily Brahimi, who's not quite matching Gunnarsson age-wise. He's 35. Of course, he's had a great career and he knows the game inside out. But can he come up with a cunning plan to save Gharafa tonight? No AFCON duty, clearly, at least for now, for Yassin Brahimi, and sadly for Aron Gunnarsson, no FIFA World Cup. They didn't qualify Iceland. Who knows, it might well be his last shot. He may beg to differ. Gunnarsson, of course, will be 40 by the time of the next tournament. For Al Wahda. Ivkovic. Two centre-backs, both very comfortable on the ball. Goalkeeper has a little dribble. Al Shamsi to show that he can match him. And here's the often matchless Tadic. Just caught by Gunnarsson, free kick. One of a select band of players at his age who, of course, dazzled in the UEFA equivalent of the Champions League in his prime years. Those glory nights with Ajax. Seeking to do a double here in the Asian version over the course of this season and go deep into the competition. Ruben Amaral went short. Hamad went round the houses a little bit. Well recovered by Judson, who does an excellent defensive job in front of the centre-backs. Canedo. Traore went for the ball first, missed it completely, and then almost as an afterthought, he caught the player, and he's paying the price for it. First yellow for Dame Traore. Joe was thinking about trying to hurdle him. The hurdle was a bit too high. And the challenge a bit too risky. Not all that long ago. Diarra plying his trade at Huddersfield in the Championship in England. Certainly not 20 degrees in December in Huddersfield. So Dusan Tadic goes short. Now drives it in there. On the edge of the box for Jadson, not quite. They just do not seem to possess the pace up front, Al Gharafa, to really trouble this Al Wahda back line. Traore didn't get it very far with his head, better with his boot, but again, it's really well recovered by Guga, who goes forward with confidence. Doing it again. Denied by Dame Traore. Pimenta. Didn't quite stick for Tadic. A bit frustrated with himself. First time by Gharafa Babakar. Coman carried it and then went back with it to his skipper Brahimi, and it breaks down again for the home team. More than 20 of this all-important fixture have been played. Al Gharafa not threatened in the attacking sense yet. Problem is they seem to use up a lot of the goals in the team, if I could put it like that. On the opening night, the defeat by Al Sharjah of the UAE, of course. 4-3. Red card for Gharafa. All went wrong late on. Matchday 2, they picked themselves up and got their only win so far against Al Shorta of Iraq. Fixture played here, but a sound beating in Saudi Arabia by Al Ahly, 4-0. Beaten here 2-1 by Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia, and a 2-0 defeat on matchday 5 to Al Ahly of Dubai. Al Ahly of Dubai, of course, coached by Paulo Sousa. So that again was Portugal against Portugal on the benches. Alawi, by Seydou Sano. Not sure there's many players on the field who've had more touches than the home goalkeeper, Gharafa Babakar. That's pretty telling. Gunnarsson. A touch at least for Hamed, and another one. Fairly predictable to play against when he just drops inside and drops the pace at the same time. Trying to force it as a consequence, Al Gharafa, and their frustrations are growing at the moment. Amaral was comfortable, and Al Wahda, I may say, looked very comfortable so far. Despite that, I think he likes what he sees here, Dimash. No information on what the plan is, with Dimash in charge now, and we do not know for how long. Maybe this is an audition of sorts. Not even sure if he is committed to wanting the job. Gunnarsson. And we went to throw for the home side of Calcanedo. Gunnarsson trying to force a way through. Short delay over the decision, and it goes the way of the visitors, to the frustration of Ayoub Alawi. Amaral. That's lovely from Jadson. If not the pass, the move which preceded it. There's still plenty of space out on that far side. Guga. Tadic back to Diarra. Had to break stride for it. Doing their best, those Al Gharafa fans far side, to enliven the team. Just a sense of a bit of despondency in the crowd generally here, given the way the season has gone. Not everybody's joining in the cheering either. A fair number of whistles. I think that can be relied upon as a sign of some discontent, understandably. Krushpki, faced by Gunnarsson, who's trying to show him on the outside. Ruben Amaral. Levkovic to Pimenta. Tadic over the top. Free roll tonight for the skipper. And it's Facundo Krushpki learning from the master, I guess. Starting from the left side. Certainly got a lot of pace and sharpness about him. If not quite the technical armoury yet of a Tadic. Brahimi tried to energise this performance early on. He was doing well to stop the cross. Sano left it. Fabulous piece of work by Calcanedo. Didn't leave Sano to his own devices there. Diarra. Guga given away. And then in reply, Alvaro Jallo couldn't keep it. Judson. Calcanedo. Some great crosses already tonight from this left side from Amaral. Infield by Tadic. Ruben Amaral again. Fairly constant pressure here from Al Wahda. Calcanedo. First time by Amaral to his captain Tadic, and he reverses it. Judson switches it out to the other side. Jallo just seemingly under pressure all round the field. The yellow and blue shirts here of Al Gharafa. The colours incidentally chosen at the foundation of the club because of the admiration of the owners for the tradition of Brazilian football. Tadic just shut down by Gunnarsson. That's asking a lot of Brahimi, and he's getting very frustrated at the moment, understandably. Did his best to set the tone for his team in the opening 10 minutes or so. Diarra perhaps once or twice has been trying a bit too hard to make a big impression tonight. Aloui. Hamed. Struggling to make an impact. Another good pass forward from Pimenta. Tadic. Ruben Amorel. Only grateful that he didn't try and run him on the outside again, I think. Diarra rolled it up to his captain, keeping it simple. That is shut down. All and sundry were telling Khalifa to take his time there, but the question is whether Al Gharafa can actually construct an attack. Brahimi's come out to the right side now. Back it goes to Gunnarsson. And back to the captain of the home side. I think he's quite happy to get a free kick there. Sano. Martin's just trying to persuade Sano to try to move forward with it. Instead he tries a big raking crossfield pass. It bounced invitingly for Jalor. Got a little pace about him at least. Matched by Guga, who did very well indeed. Krupski. Judson. Pimenta. Tadic. Lifted forward by Jallo to Brahimi. Seems quite a weight for Al Gharafa and their supporters, no doubt, to see them crossing the halfway line. They've gone backwards again with it here. Dame Traore. Guga keeps Jallo exactly where he wants him. Khalifa. Ivkovic won it comfortably. Sano. Diaz had a little look down the field, not a lot happening for him either. Dame Traore. Canedo's on the prowl, so too Tadic. Sano. All a bit untidy, I'm afraid, from the Al Gharafa perspective. Tadic is denied, no foul. Referee couldn't have been any closer to that. But it's what's happening next, even if Al Gharafa do win a challenge or two. Al Wahda dominating the ball, dominating the match, really. Tadic might have got himself a free kick there as well. Happy that his team at least kept the ball. Pimenta. Diarra just keeps it simple, gives it to Calcanedo. Tadic is free on the edge of the box. Now beginning to meander in there. Gunnarsson is ahead of Tadic in getting his head to it. And now's the chance to take it clear, but there's very few options. And Brahimi's been forced into giving the ball away. I think there's a fair amount of surprise that the shot didn't come in there, given that they have been scoring goals, this Al Wahda side. Jadson, Diarra. Run back fair and square by Diaz. Zoranil Koman trying to stand up Pimenta. He's done pretty well, but can he get the ball in there? Well, he's forced a corner at least. Little or nothing happening in open play for Al Gharafa. The hope has got to be from a set piece. Brahimi to take it. Possibilities here. Onto the crossbar and very nearly turned into his own net by Krushki, but he kept cool and he lifted it clear. From a set piece indeed. First moment of threat for the visitors. It was a very good reaction that by Koman to try to steer it over the goalkeeper. Sano won the header. Koman very nearly claimed the goal. Krushki did well to avoid an own goal after that. Brahimi. Same routine, was looking for the same player, but they were alive to it now. Al Wahda. And it ends fairly tamely when it reaches Fabrizio Diaz. This was a different story. If he meant that header, incidentally, that was a brilliant piece of work by Sano to spot that maybe Koman was in a little bit of space. So just a reminder, for all the good stuff that they've played here, Al Wahda have not got the ball in the net and very nearly conceded one just there. Brahimi. Jamal Hamed is working hard but not making much progress, I'm afraid. Tadic. Bit optimistic from Abdullah Hamad, as he now accepts. Gunnarsson. Brahimi out on that far left side where he started off tonight. Bit of support this time from Fadlala. That's better from him. Koeman miss hit, but at that speed, going across the face of the goal like that, it's a very inviting ball if there's a second striker coming in. And unfortunately for Al Gharafa, there really wasn't. But a bit brighter. Koeman, incidentally, hasn't scored in this competition, nor indeed in the league season, but has got a couple in the cup. Aloui. Full commitment from Kruszewski again. That's what Dimash wants to see from him. Brahimi. If you move away from the ball for a moment and look in the centre of the goal mouth, it was 4 marking 1 really, as they dallied over what to do with that. And that kind of sums it up from Al Gharafa's point of view. I'm afraid he's looking fairly fed up at the moment, isn't he, Brahimi? So much of it's down to confidence, of course. And that can all change very quickly. A goal or two might be all it needs to help this Al Gharafa side to click under Pedro Martins. They've got to believe that. 3 players down in total, and I think there's going to be a card somewhere in all of this. Calcanedo for the visitors here after that tangle. And we believe for Brahimi the yellow card, and the frustration's becoming a bit too much to bear at the moment. I think as soon as he walks toward the referee like that, kind of makes the referee's mind up a little bit. I would suggest if you just put your hands up and acknowledge, sorry, didn't mean it, might get away with it. He wants to keep winning. Just a little bit flat even from Al Wahda, as comfortable as they've been as we head toward half-time. About a minute and a half to go. The gauntlet was thrown down, of course, earlier today in terms of who's going to win the first phase outright. The victory for Al Hilal, moving them to 18 points. Al Wahda's objective is to close that gap down here tonight. Be a nice feeling for Al Wahda to just remind Al Hilal at this point that they've not gone anywhere. A 1-0 win away to Al Sharjah. And after this round of games on match day 6, fair old wait till round 7 comes in the second week of February. A couple of games still to be played on the 23rd of December in this half of this competition. At half-time in this game, in the western section. No breakthrough for Al Gharafa on a night when it's all about winning for them. They've been frustrated by Al Wahda's quality, even if there's not quite been the precision up front that Al Wahda have demonstrated so far this season. Al Gharafa have hardly had anything to trouble Dimash until Florin Al-Koman very nearly opened the scoring, but they need somebody to do it for them tonight, and it hasn't happened yet. It's Al Gharafa 0, Al Wahda 0 at half-time. Welcome back, everybody. We're getting set to get underway again here in the Bin Jassim Stadium. Al Gharafa looking to get going, and they've decided to bring on Amro Surag at half-time. It's 0-0 here between Al Gharafa and Al Wahda. Contrasting styles of play, contrasting general profiles in the Asian Champions League. 25-26 for these two so far. The struggle goes on for Al Gharafa, just a single win. Al Wahda already qualified for the next phase. Al Wahda get us going in the second half. They dominated possession in the first half. Over 60% in their favour. Dominated the territory. Caught the eye with some very confident football, befitting a side which has won repeatedly through the competition so far. 4 wins and a draw, one of the top teams. But still a fair imperative both ways on actually winning this game tonight. From the point of view of Al Wahda, they've seen Al Hilal storm on at the very top, one of the other few unbeaten teams. 18 points. Al Wahda have looked like the only serious threat to Al Hilal in terms of winning the first phase outright. And the urgency the other way comes from the fact they've got to find themselves a victory, Al Gharafa, and that's a bit more like it. Brahimi into the space. And Jallo, who's got a little bit of pace about him, perhaps now to be deployed in a more central role here by Pedro Martins. So that's a bit of a novelty. And it was a bit more positive for Al Gharafa. Gunnarsson steps onto it more positively. Has Martins persuaded some of these players to take the handbrake off a little bit? Dame Traore on a yellow card in the first half. Fadalala. A little bit of applause for the intentions there from Martins as well. What a great career this man had, actually, when he was at Olympiakos, giant club in Athens. I think I'm right in saying he became the longest-serving coach in the club's history. In a very volatile environment very often, but he won the title 3 times in Greece, and a cup for good measure. And he wants a bit more from this group of players for sure. Sano is penalised, and it looks like Sano is about to receive a yellow as well. Canedo, I think, was onside, although the other centre-back, Dame Traore, put his arm up. Sano was not convinced that he was offside and decided he had to stop him. Could worse follow here, I wonder? The review is underway. Now, it looks like worse is about to follow here for Seydou Sano and Al Gharafa. Or the alternative doesn't really bear thinking about. wonder whether there's actually a question as to whether in fact the player was offside or not in the first instance. That's not something that the referee's going to be asked to check, of course. That is a matter of fact. He's drawing the lines himself on the field. The referee here, Qasim Matari Al-Hatmi. Looks like we're going to leave it as is. Well, again, I think I've just forecast the outcome, and actually it now looks as though the card itself is in question, but what's not in question is that Canedo's going into that same channel. And Canedo's a player that has had a terrific run so far in this competition this season. So if it was offside, I can only surmise that the yellow card has been rescinded. Pimenta. That's a bit tight for the goalkeeper. Now, is it more in that one? Will the VAR look at that one, I wonder? Might not even need to bother. A big turning point in this game. They have been absolutely cruising through it, Al Wahda, but a moment of overconfidence from Al Shamsi, the goalkeeper. Hustled and harried by Koman here. He swiped at the ball, he missed that, but he caught the man. Koman persisting, chasing, not giving up on it. And it looks like he's earned his team a penalty and earned his chance to redeem hope for Al Gharafa here in the group overall, because it's only about a win tonight, remember. Al Shamsi's had virtually nothing to do for most of the night. Remember, it was Koman, and the goalkeeper is now sent off to compound it. A red card for Mohammed Al Shamsi. They've been cruising along here, Al Wahda, but they've hit trouble now. Tadic, as the captain, delegated to go and speak to the referee, who looks in no mood to change his mind. Al Shamsi, remember, was very nearly beaten in the closing moments of the first half, the only near thing in the first half for Al Gharafa, and it was Koman who lifted it over him onto the crossbar. Still, there seems no suggestion of a reprieve for Al Shamsi. Tadic says this is not right. Ultimately, the referee is always right, I guess, in the sense that his decision is final. And that moment very costly, potentially. So, hurried preparations for Zayed Ahmed Al-Hamadi at this moment, the backup goalkeeper for the visitors. Always a mystery why a player in that scenario will continue to argue with the referee. And even now, he may turn around and say, well, listen, I'm just trying to buy time for my backup goalkeeper to get himself ready to get in the game, Zayed Ahmed. That's an argument, I guess. Zayed has had recent game time for Al Wahda. He played against Al Jazeera a few days ago. Played the full 90 minutes in the League Cup. Playing all the games in the League Cup, actually. So Shamsi off. Simultaneously, it looks like it is Diarra who's been the player sacrificed by the visitors here. He's not rushing out there exactly, is he? Gunnarsson eyeing up the new man with intent. The shootout looms between the two of them. It's a very, very important moment, this, and actually it's going to be the captain who takes responsibility. Yassin Brahimi with the chance to lift Al Gharafa. Brahimi hits the top of the crossbar and he's missed the opportunity to really lift the mood for Al Gharafa. It's not been the dream comeback for the captain, I'm afraid. And Al Zayed, the new goalkeeper, celebrates even though he was not needed to save it. Brahimi leaning back, overdid that. Will they get a better chance, I wonder? And if they do not, and do not take it, will there be other chances to rescue this Asian Champions League season? I also wonder that. Still, they've got a man advantage, and they've got well over 30 minutes of this game to go. There's been 2 VAR interventions early in this second half. We may be looking at 5-6 minutes or more on the end of the 90. How well can they make the man advantage into a proper advantage? Traore, immediately they're after Traore. Remember, he's been booked already. Dame Traore. All the Al Wahda players pile in. Gunnarsson telling to leave it alone. It's a second yellow card, and the man advantage lasted scarcely 2 minutes. Dame Traore is now sent off for Al Gharafa. And again, the referee will brook no argument. This is the challenge. Into Guga. Guga's just trying to roll it through his legs, I think. And I also think that Dame Traore feared the very worst. So did Martins in that moment. So 2 reds, as you can now see on the caption, 10 against 10. Going to be plenty of hard running to be done in the heat by Both groups of players from here. Gharafa gets it going again, but can he drive this Al Gharafa team forward? Can Al Gharafa find it within themselves to lift their season here by somehow clawing out a victory? A point won't do much at this stage. Canedo left frustrated. Surak. Nicely played by Brahimi. Has to find a way to move on. Player of his experience will know that after the penalty miss. Fadala. Sano. Gunnarsson. Brahimi again. Fadlala. Jallo. I think he's relishing this more central role second half. Nice little turn by Koman, one way then the other. Fadlala. Brahimi. They're moving much better here. Second half, Al Gharafa. Technique rather than power was really required there, but positive in the build-up phase from the home side. Nice to meet you, or something like that from Brahimi, but not the desired outcome for anybody. However, here comes the ace card in their pack. Fozello's coming on. A player who has come up with big goals in very big games on many occasions through his strange but often wonderful career. Not starting tonight. Koman is now withdrawn. He's done his best to really energise matters. And he gets a good hand for doing that. Sano. At least they got the shot counter moving a little bit. Al Gharafa, but the accuracy is the next big issue. If the message had been at half-time, just need players to relax a little bit, from Pedro Martin's perspective, I think that message has gotten through pretty well. Dimash is now thinking about a change or two for Al Wahda. There's little debate that they're moving more freely here. Joselo, great first touch. Second touch was pretty decent as well. Brahimi, between them, could they conjure up some magic tonight, those two? Brahimi again. Into the space he goes. Trying to bend one round the goalkeeper. Spirit unbroken despite the disappointment from the penalty spot. That's always been a trademark skill of his, almost using the defenders as a screen. Calcanedo's withdrawn. Has come on. And again, they've just changed the shape a little bit from the look of it, and they've got Krushchi now through the middle, the visitors, as Amaral really gets forward for the first time in the second half. He was doing that extremely well in the first period. He was all smiles before the kickoff tonight, Martins, but the urgency of the situation is writ large at the moment. First issues for Gharafa to defend this corner. Tadic takes it, goalkeeper's come for it at full stretch, didn't get to it. Pimenta. Ducked into the header just at the last half a second there a little bit. Didn't get the kind of powerful downward header that he's very good at doing normally. That's a massive let-off for Khalifa Abubakar, the goalkeeper. To be truthful, it was a slow burner of a football match, but it's beginning to enliven now. Run by Surag. So Gobani's gone in as an additional defender. Ivkovic. Brahimi is well one back in the middle of the field by the home team. Much more urgency about them now. Can Brahimi get to this? He's doing his very best to get the legs pumping. Remember all those minutes played last week for Algeria. Did well again, but all he gets is a corner. And a helping hand from Joselo. He might need just a moment to compose himself before he takes the corner. Big shout led by Gunnarsson here. As the ball's whipped into the near post. Hamed now pleads his innocence. The number 12. It skims across his midriff and does it hit the arm here, the right hand? I think the answer to that is yes. Doesn't look like they're going to get the decision. Abdullah Hamed wreathed in smiles for a moment, smiles of relief. But it was a good ball in from Brahimi. And it did cause a certain amount of consternation for Al Wahda there. Brahimi again, different approach this time, inviting ball for the goalkeeper that. A decisive piece of work by Ahmad Zayed. Literally grabbing the chance with both hands to impress, with Al-Shamsi off and of course liable for suspension now when this Asian Champions League resumes. Got to show the match that he's ready. Sano. Nice take. Ball was out, unfortunately, for Aloui. But he too's getting forward now. Quite a change in the mindset for me here, after the words of Pedro Martins at half-time for Al Gharafa. Looking a much better proposition, the home side. Surak did his little bit. Diaz. Ivkovic needed a little bit of help there. He did the first part well enough. Wanted an offside, they got it as well. The visitors there. Jallo was offside. Is the improvement from Martin's team going to be enough here for Al Gharafa? Well judged this time by Khalifa. Gorbani. Surak did well. Added a bit of energy in that right back slot. And it's also released Al Wahda to play a little bit further forward, which he seems to be enjoying. Ivkovic. No Canedo, and they're looking a little bit short of real menace up the front end of the side at the moment. Al Wahda. Normally it's not a problem for them. Darko Lazovic is on the touchline waiting for the chance to come on. Cosello. Gunnarsson slotting in for the defenders who've gone down the field a little bit. Brahimi. Just eluded Brahimi on the way back in from Fadlala. Nice idea. Another really energetic bit of work there by Jalor. Not the outcome he desired, but plenty of desire from him. So double change on the 75-minute mark. Lazovic, Dusan Tadic is coming off. And so too Facundo Kruski. One of the players left out tonight at the very start. Omar Karibin is the other player coming on. He's a forward. So, against expectations there, Dusan Tadic, maybe as a mark of respect to Karibin, actually passed on there as Joselu comes in to make his mark, and he's denied on the goal line. Sensational clearance by Ivkovic to keep Al Gharafa out. Another excellent attacking move that. Jalor into Joselu, that's what he's on the field to do, make that impact in the penalty box, and he seemed sure to put Al Gharafa in front here, steering around the goalkeeper. Ivkovic stayed so cool and got back to cover. They were all starting to celebrate, the home players, and no doubt the home supporters as well. So it's still 0-0, and just to confirm, it is still Dusan Tadic out there, although he passed up the captain's armband. They did make two changes, Lazovic and Karibin on for the visitors. And there's the man wearing the armband against the opposing captain. A much livelier second half, and a lot more of the goal mouth activity in front of the Al Wahda goal this time. Much more lively all round the field, Al Gharafa, but there's no prizes for intent. They have to get the ball in the net, really. 2 games to play only in this competition this season. After tonight, a long wait for the competition to resume in the second week of February. Gunnarsson, who's just going to sit and act as the spare centre-back, if you like, following the departure of Traore, sent off. Joselu, time and again, has proven people wrong through his career, and I think he'd like more opportunities like the one he's not been able to convert tonight, just to prove a few people wrong who may have made doubt that he's got it in him to get a goal tonight. Nicely played that by Gharafa. Little seen of Al Wahda as an attacking force second half. And that's where that attack is going to fizzle out. Off the chest of Ozelo. Brahimi, bit tight. Guga. Kept going. Debate on the touchline between the visiting coach, not Bartiz. He's sitting it out. He's got other preoccupations at this moment. Between Dimash and Brahimi. Surak, not quite. Unlike in some other leagues in some parts of the world at this time of the year, it's not an over-demanding fixture schedule for Al Wahda anyway, and there's going to be plenty of time to recover. They're basically going to play one game a week, judged on the schedule that they have at this moment. Through the end of December and into January. A little bit more crowded for Al Gharafa, but not until the second half of January, in fairness, including the Super Cup. Deflection doesn't catch the goalkeeper out, but Jallo looking a different proposition down the middle. Energy, he's got a bit of pace about him, and clearly very hungry and determined to make his mark on this game. Ivkovic standing up again. Brahimi. Good looking ball. Yet again, Gunnarsson goes to the referee and says, can we have a penalty, please? Answer, no. They're going to continue the protest here. And the referee's telling them to hang on. Sano was going for it. The arm was on the shoulder from Pimenta. Gunnarsson went over. Gorbani was tangling with him. Gunnarsson feels like the whole world is against him at this moment. So do Sano. Surak sliced it. Gharafa to Tadic. Back in the position where he did so much damage in his Ajax heyday, Dusan Tadic, cutting in from the right side. Brahimi, that's a very clear foul and surely a yellow. And unlike one or two of the others, Tadic acknowledges and walks away. One up for Brahimi, I guess. And I'd also say that Dimash might consider withdrawing Tadic at this point, because in their attempt to win the Western section outright at the end of the first phase in this season's tournament, Dusan Tadic is certainly one of their key components. Here's Brahimi. They're forcing a lot of corners here. Al Gharafa second half. Pimente in harm's way again. His fitness levels are quite incredible given the amount of workload he's had recently, Brahimi, at his age, and he's looking like one of the stronger finishes here in this 10-a-side game that we've had in this second half. Let's see what they can produce from the right side. Pozello, lovely knockdown to Goodison, brilliant little touch, outstanding goal, tucked in by Sano, and Al Gharafa have got in front. That's a brilliant goal, and it means so much to their season. What an improvement. Whatever was said by Pedro Martins at half-time, they have come out a different team. And it's taken them nearly all the second half, but who could question that it's not deserved? They have done excellently here. Two great touches, and Sano, who's looking a smart operator in the opposition penalty box, the defender, did a great job of tucking that in. This could be a very big moment in the entire season for Al Gharafa. And a very fine moment it is for Sano. By contrast with their first half showing, Al Wahda have never gotten going, really, in this second period. Sano's got a fair goal-scoring record overall in all competitions. Knows where the goal is. But that is his first this season in the Asian Champions League, and what a time to get in. Brahimi. He'll happily take a foul if he's gotten one for that against Mohamed Gorbani. Bousafi has come on for Al Gharafa. For Jalal. And it's a positive looking move by Martins, because he is a forward. There's the main centre forward having a pop from very long distance. Cutting free repeatedly in the first half, Guga down the right, but nothing of that second half. Super keen to make his mark immediately. Sharper to nearly every loose ball in this second period, the home team. And Brahimi is still going. Through the 90-minute mark, but the better part of 10 more to play from the look of it. Cut out by Diaz. What an effort from this man tonight. Back to lead his club team after his stint with his country. And driving them forward early on, recovering from the great disappointment of missing from the penalty spot. But undeterred, he's helped steer them toward what would be a great victory tonight. Rayan is on, Ahmed Al Rayan. Gunnarsson keeps on going admirably. Joselo. Set of young legs has come on, incidentally. He's only 19, Rayan. Not a lot of first-team experience, actually. 3 appearances overall. Doesn't trouble the visiting goalkeeper, that, but it does keep Al Wahda down the other end of the field. Nice little touch that from Gorbani, who's looked a very polished footballer all round for Al Wahda. I'm afraid a lot of the shine has gone off the general level of football played by the visitors second half. Until now, perhaps. They got in each other's way there. It looked like it was going to drop beautifully for Karibin to go and finish it. It's like a exact opposite story here, second half to the first period. Dimash looks a bit frustrated now, doesn't he, with good reason. Very late in the second half. That is the first glimmer of a chance. It's a bit like what happened in the first half for Al Gharafa. You may remember it was stoppage time before Koeman got the chance. Gunnarsson waits. Made sure he got his head on it, did really well. Karibin. A late flourish is what Al Wahda are looking for. They're good enough to go and make things happen at the other end, and they are at last starting to make things happen. They're not out of time yet. He does not want to leave here tonight. In his first game in charge, Dimash, with a first defeat in this competition this season on the slate. Lazovic to take the corner. Goalkeeper stays well at home this time, leaves well alone, out of play it goes. Joselo at the other end. Excellent first touch. Gunnarsson brilliant. Cool finish that from Sano. Spinning ball. He's got to get it over it somehow. Keeps control of it really well to tuck it in. That's brighter. Oh, and so close. Lazovic picked out superbly by Tadic. How about that? And the player rushing in to finish off the job was Ivkovic. Couldn't get there in time. Tadic, top draw. Lazovic squared it nicely enough. Couldn't pull it back enough, perhaps. And Lazovic, frustrated like everybody else, that there wasn't maybe a striker coming in on the far post instead of Ivkovic, whom they basically told to go and be a nuisance up there in these closing moments. Karibin again. Fairly gripping contest second half. Very tame in the first period. Gharafa forced back, really for the first time in this second period. Tadic couldn't lift it into trouble there for Gharafa. Very well won back by Pimenta. They're coming out to level it here. Goalkeeper stays at home. Goes over the top from Gorbani. It's another good cross. Where have they been hiding second half? The great service in the first period down that left-hand side again and again. No good for Gorbani this time. Will they get another chance? Or are they to go home disappointed? After Al Hilal's victory, and Tractor also edging ahead of them, Al Wahda came here to reclaim second spot and just plant their flag, if you like, for the last two games in the group phase, that they were still looking to win the section outright. A draw would be a help, but it doesn't look like they're going to get even 1 point. Karibin has a go himself here. Time is up, pretty much. Time is up. Al Wahda already qualified. Pride stung here in defeat, but the story is one of victory when really needed for Pedro Martins and Al Gharafa, and they've done it with great courage. A tennis-side game in the second half after the two sendings off in quick succession, decided by Seydou Sano. A really fine finish. Hoselu and Gunnarsson, the architects of it, from a set piece. Al Gharafa recovering from the disappointment of the heroic Brahimi missing from the penalty spot, but they just kept going. They knew how important it was to win, and they have given themselves hope and plenty of it now for the last two games, that they can yet make the qualifying group going forward to the knockout stages. It's been a long way, but they win again when they really needed to do it, and they earned it the hard way. A setback for Al Wahda, but in a great season for them. Plenty of time to recover. It's hard to win and keep winning. Al Gharafa claim the victory. The result here, narrow but merited on what they produced in the second half. Al Gharafa 1, Al Wahda 0.